Well, here we go again. Um, Talking a little bit more about Donald Trump. I guess I'll call this part two of the one I just did. I really didn't rehearse this video. I just felt that I needed to elaborate on some things that I said in the last video. I'm not going to hold you long. Um, First of all, global warming. Um, the fact about global warming is that, first of all, there's nothing that you can really do about it. Um, I don't think. I mean, if you can prove that little tiny things that you do will drastically decrease the chances of, rapid warming, by all means, it should be all over the television. It should be taught in schools. It should be everywhere, right at this minute when we think that um, we're about to get burned up by fire, which that's Bible prophecy. It's going to happen. This place is going to burn. Okay. Um, but Donald Trump not wanting to deal with this pack, as they called it in the paper, um, this global warming accord, as they called it in the paper. He didn't want to deal with it the way Paris wanted him to deal with it. Now, this is supposed to be something that we got going on with that part of the world. We're supposed to band arms, I guess, with that part of the world and agree with them to do things in our own country to help prevent global warming or to control global warming in some kind of way. In a way, I feel that Trump should be more considerate about that, yes, but I really believe that Trump will have to be considerate about it if an outbreak happens. And it's proven that these are happening because of our, you know, ignoring the fact of global warming. He'll have to be considerate about it. He'll have to do something, band with somebody to do something about it. But I do personally believe that science tries to act like it has a way sometimes, and especially in these last days. Science tries to act like it's able to do something about something and can't do nothing. I mean, it just does. And people get on that bandwagon and they go to thinking without putting two plus two together. I mean, I don't see what you can do. I mean, you can get rid of coal all you want to. That's not going to shut the ozone layer. That's not going to repair the crack. So I don't know where you're going with this whole global warming thing, but I will say we start having heat strokes all over the world and things burning up and people dying in mines because of the heat and or anything like that. Something's going to have to be done. And so I hate to see Donald Trump wait to the last minute to, you know, come up with a plan because he didn't want to get one off of Paris. But I also agree that we don't need Paris to tell us how to run this country as far as warming goes. I'm not. I'm kind of conservative on that. I really am. I don't think it's as big a deal as a lot of these scientists and a lot of these politicians make it. But I also feel that if you can prove, if you can prove, not by some kind of private thing going on way over here, but if you can prove to Americans that um, there's something we can honestly do to prevent global warming, then you will eventually, uh, prove it to Trump too. Um, Rajini Gabriel, I talked about her in my last video. Rajini Gabriel is a Muslim. Well, was a former Muslim. She grew up in Lebanon. And when she was a child, her family was attacked by, her family was in the middle of a terrorist attack. Okay? They were literally killing families. They were literally hunting down fathers, I remember her saying. Hunting down fathers, kidnapping the children, and raping the women in this terrorist attack that was going on in Lebanon. They were hunting down the husbands and fathers and killing them, kidnapping the children and forcing the women into sexual slavery. And a lot of they were actually killing the sons. And the little girls, they were kidnapping them and saving them for their concubinage or their sexual slavery, molestation, whatever. But this went on in her country, in a part of her country. And she's not going to play games after going through all that with Islam. And she grew up Muslim. But when she came here to the United States, she vowed to be her own Muslim and not the Muslims that she grew up with as a child. That every day they have some reason to be killing each other, like I said in the last video. And then you want to bring that nonsense in the United States. And when they come to the United States, they're not here to kill each other. They're here to kill us. Okay? Now, people want to play dumb. Go ahead and play dumb. Okay? But eventually, you're going to reap what you sow. You will reap what you sow. So go ahead and play dumb. You play dumb, dumb things are going to happen to you. Okay? You reap what you sow. Any interruption of what ISIS might be up to is serious spiritual explosion right there. So, why all the uproar about Donald Trump? Well, Donald Trump, I think, is doing the things that others only talked about. Other Republicans and some Democrats, a little bit, talked about illegal immigration. If I remember correctly, George Bush talked about it, big time. He didn't do much about it, though. Even Barack Obama had to deport some people. From what I understand, he even had to do some illegal. He had to deport some people. But it was like the people that he deported was only for the record. and not really because he was trying to respect the laws and policies of importation and deportation. Okay, so the guy, to me, it was a phony. Any way around it, he was just a phony to me. But Donald Trump is doing things that some people only talked about. And people hated him early because they knew he gonna go in there. He gonna go in there and he gonna do his thing. He gonna go in there. He's gonna do his thing. They knew it. They didn't doubt him. Okay, I'm waiting to see what's gonna happen. But these people, they know. Like I said in the last video, the demons are trembling. And I don't know what's so special about Donald Trump, but he must be doing something right for him to go through this much scrutiny, for him to go through this much abuse. He must be doing something right. To have all these liberals and all these Democrats on edge. He must be doing something right. So, that's the spectrum of it, you know. I really don't know what else to say. But I guess Donald Trump has already won the worst president award. He's going to, nobody but me maybe will have his picture on any of their walls. Okay. Some people will have his picture on the wall because they got all the president's pictures on the wall. But Donald Trump has won the worst president award. I already thought Obama won it. But no, Trump got it. Okay. So, as I said in the last video, I don't know who to trust among any of these Democrats, any of these liberals anymore. I don't know who I can trust. Okay? Oh. And I'm sure there's good people out there who didn't vote for Trump. They voted for Hillary, and they have more morals than most Republicans as well as Democrats. They just feel that the government taketh away, we can make the government giveth. The government taketh away, we can make the government give it back. So that's why they're Democrat. And they believe that you gotta stay on top of the government. Because if you don't, it'll just clean you out and clean you with nothing and give all your money to the rich. At least that's what a lot of people believe. And so they feel that the Republicans are pushing that for the government to take all your money and give it to the rich. I thought it was the other way around. But in any case, again, Donald Trump is only doing what's in his policy as president and the policies of the White House. he's only doing what he's allowed to do within the policies. And he may be taking them to the extreme, but he's still only doing what he's allowed to do. And I hope that they don't try and cut on him holding Muslims back from coming into this country. Because I believe this is a bad time to be letting all these Muslims come in this country. Because everybody ought to know Donald Trump tried to be a real Republican, and he really went out of his way to control ISIS. They want to come in here and get even with him. They want to come in here and prove to Donald Trump and the people that support him that you cannot stop ISIS. You will not stop ISIS. We will continue to take over the world like we had planned to. I think it's bad. I think just simply because Donald Trump is president, you need to keep these Muslims out of this country. We got enough Muslims here to destroy this country that might be legal citizens to destroy this country already. Like right now. We have enough Muslims living in the United States right now. They could all band together and we be out. And we got Muslims in here that are traveling. We got Muslims in here that have been living here all their life. But yet, have you ever sat down with them and talked to them about what party they're on and why? What side they're on? Who do they vote for? You know, how they feel about American freedom. Have you ever sat down and asked some of your most peaceful Muslims this? What do you think about the freedom of the United States? And how does that apply to you? And what are you expecting from the United States? What do you need? Why are you really here? Why? And the two muzzles, again, one wants to go into our schools when they already took the Bible out of school and said, you're not going to have religion in school, but they found a way to let Islam force its way in there. While the Christians are not allowed to preach the Bible in school anymore. But you're allowed to put Islam into your American children. Somehow they squeeze that in there in certain school districts. Okay? But you got this muscle over here that's always mayheming everything. Always creating destruction and mayhem and death and disaster. But you think these two have nothing in common with each other. Like I said, where are these people at when these people are doing terrorist attack? They're not getting hit by terrorist attacks. White people are getting killed in terrorist attacks. More white people than anybody else. More white people than Spanish, black, Arab, Asian, anybody. It's mostly white people that are getting killed in these attacks. Whether they be white people in America or white people in Germany or white people in Europe or wherever. They're white people. Okay? And when this one gets done making mayhem and ruining everything, this one gets the benefit from it. Telling you. Right now they're sitting back saying they don't agree with each other. But when this gets done running the world, you think this is going to go to war against this one? No, they're going to be like, okay, well, we were already Muslim. And now these guys fought the war for us. So now we can come together and run the world. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. It's just like, look at America. You say the whites stole it from the Indians, okay? And now their children, these white children, are able to live in the land of the free without interruption. Okay? They automatically have their place, their spot, because they are born in America under legally American citizens. So, they are ready or American citizens at birth. Okay? But they had to take it off the Indians first. They had to fight some wars first before their children could grow up safely in the land of the free. And what's so dumb about these people from the Middle East is that they think that they can come over here and piggyback off of you that are highly educated in this country, that are running big business in this country. They think they can come over here and piggyback off of you and desert their own country. And one of the reasons why they want to come over here is because they know that one of these days, whether it be Vladimir Putin or whether it be whatever United States president, or an Asian, Korea or somebody's going to bomb that part of the world. And there will be so many of them already here in the United States by the time they do that we have no choice but to protect them, to protect ourselves. But while we're protecting them, they're going to eventually start creating mayhem right here in the United States. They already tried to do it in Florida. Remember that? They already tried to do it in Florida. I read in the paper shortly after the incident in Florida where a Muslim shot a police officer right here in Pittsburgh. Cop came into his ghetto. He stopped at the light. The Muslim was standing there motioning something with his hand. Then out of nowhere, he pulled a gun, ran up on the window, and shot the cop right in the face, killed him. Wait a minute. I think there were 2 cops in that car. I think he killed one and injured the other. Yeah, he killed one and injured the other. There were 2 cops in the car. I think he killed the one driving, injured the one in the front seat. The one in the passenger seat was able to cover fire until police responders came to the scene, and then they chased him down and they got him. And I don't remember whether they killed him, I think they might have shot him, or whether they locked him up, but they caught him. But the point is, it's already going on here in the United States, people. And, Donald Trump is able to see this while other people are sleepwalking and sleep talking. I don't listen to people that are sleeping. I really don't. If you're black and you can't see, what's going on with black America, don't talk to me. Don't say nothing to me about black. Let's stick to the job. Let's stick to talking about grandmama's green beans and macaroni and ribs or whatever you want to talk about. Let's talk about orange soda or some watermelon or something. Don't talk to me about no black stuff. If you can't see that there's a problem with the black community, the so-called black community, the fact that we have a black community is a problem right there. Shouldn't be no black community. Should be just black people trying to keep up, because that's what we're doing. Actually, trying to, if you're trying to do anything positive here in America, after all the pro-black philosophies that are handed down to you over the years, if you're trying to do anything positive, you're trying to keep up with the rest of America. You're trying to keep up with the hard-working class, where a lot of these young swaggers out here don't care about it. They're violence waiting to happen, because why? They don't keep up. They don't try to keep up, but they try to act like they own the streets. Therefore, there's going to be a confrontation. There's going to be some war. There's going to be some trouble when you have that kind of attitude. Okay? And when I look at the state of black people, and I read about China, Korea, Japan, when I look at the news and I see violence and murder and rape, people are killing their friends today. Just this month, I've heard probably about 3 instances back to back here in Pittsburgh where friends were having a little party at their house. And when the party was over, the friends that hung out longer ended up getting shot and killed because they wouldn't leave the house. Or they try to get violent for some reason over some alcohol, over that last sip of alcohol or some nonsense. And 2 people ended up getting killed. And one who owned a house ended up, after going through hell in court, ended up getting free because of self-defense. When I see stuff like that, if you don't think that there's a moral problem in this country, if you're that much asleep, we can't talk. We can't talk if that's the way you feel. Oh, like I was downtown Pittsburgh one day, and it was around election time, and, it was right after that situation in Orlando. And I was wearing a security guard uniform, and the guy said something to me about it. That's why I don't like wearing my security uniform on the bus. But I was wearing my uniform, and he said something to me, and because I didn't have an answer, I said, well, hey, the country's getting bad. You know what I mean? You got people in the, and I told him some of the stuff I just said in this video. He says, you worried about ISIS? You think ISIS is going to come and chop your head off? He said a bunch of stuff to me, and he laughed, and he said, you'll get your head chopped off right here on the street right here faster than ISIS will do. And that's true. That's very true. He ought to know you black. That's very true. But there's too many people sleeping. When I see this stuff going on, Donald Trump must be doing something right. He must be. Okay? He must be. Thanks to Donald Trump, I know that everybody is not sleeping. Just a lot of y'all. Just most of y'all. Okay? Thanks to Donald Trump and those that are, hooraying him. you know, I know that there's not a whole lot of people that don't care about this country. Just over half of the people in this country are starting not to care about it. Okay? And who are the people that don't care about the country? The poor. Wealthy people are more patriotic than poor people. That's natural. Okay? I'm poor, but I'm very patriotic. Because why? Because I know that if this country can hold on to its basic policies and not keep mixing nonsense with it, it's easy for Christians to live happily in this country. But if every corner, if every corner a baby's being aborted and, somebody else has changed their sexual gender identity and they got this hostile attitude to go with it, and men are giving up on women and women are giving up on men, and children have no respect for their parents, and all this stuff. And I know Donald Trump can't do nothing about it. Neither can Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama do anything about it. But it's going on, and I know it does something about it. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ will fix it all if you let him. If you let him. If you let him. So, but until people begin to accept Jesus Christ as their personal Lord and Savior, thank God for Donald Trump. But thank God more for those that, regardless of how they feel about Donald Trump, they're not going to tolerate even the most smartest of us. They're not going to tolerate stupidity. They're not going to tolerate you publicly throwing your poop in the middle of the public eye for everybody to trip over it. If you know what I mean. There's a lot of Democrats out there who want to restore order. And I believe there's a lot of Republicans out there who have been holding on to the order. And if it wasn't for them, there wouldn't be any order. Or should I say, if it wasn't for the Republican Christians, there wouldn't be any order. Donald Trump, to me, is the old school pictures that I remember of strong white Americans that, regardless of how they feel about blacks, they feel more so patriotic about this country that has, in a way that has nothing to do with blacks or any other race or even their own race. I miss them kind of white people. I miss the white folks that would fight anybody, any race for this country. You come over here, you better say hello. You better speak. Excuse me, excuse me, ma'am. I don't know if you speak English or not. You gonna walk past me without saying hi? I said hello to you. Now, if you don't know how to speak that in English, I suggest you go learn some English. And there were white people back in the day that would talk to people like that. Oh, excuse me. Oh, you don't know how to speak English. It's dangerous, sweetheart, to be out here walking these streets and don't know how to speak English. I mean, back in the day, the hardness of white people, we didn't appreciate it then, but I appreciate it today. I appreciate it today. In a time when, yes, America is multiculturalizing and other races are coming over here and they're making the money that white people are supposed to be making. While black folks on the other end of that same spectrum are hating on whites. Well, white folks ain't holding all the money anymore. White folks ain't all the brains anymore. It's the Asians and the Arabs that are the brains these days. Black folks are really, really sleepwalking. They really are. And it's not the white folks that look down their nose at me every day. It's these people that don't even know how to speak English that look down their nose at me every day. Okay? But I like Donald Trump, and I hope and pray that God blesses him to be one of the best Republicans, in my opinion, that we've ever had. And his picture will go on my wall. There's no presidents on my wall yet, but I think Donald Trump will be the first, unless he does a complete U-turn and embarrass me for voting for him. His picture will go on my wall. On a wall with no other presidents on it but him. And because I really do believe that he's really, 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 really helping out the Republicans very, very well. He's doing a good job at building our side. People come to me and they say, "What'd you vote for Donald Trump for? Are you crazy?" I'm a Republican, dude. There's nothing about Donald Trump that goes against the Republican Party. If it goes against the Republican Party, that's because the Republican Party is becoming more conservative in these last days than standing up and being strong Republicans. That's how that works. But I think Donald Trump, if he wanted to be Democrat, he knows how to play that game too. But he's being a real good Republican, in my opinion. And these Democrats, they really thought, I think they must have had Bush in their pocket. Okay, they must have had the last 3 Republican presidents in their pocket for them to get mad at Donald Trump because he got his own money. He doesn't need to bow to any lobbyists. He got his own money. And he got some of the most powerful people in this country. He had them up under his belt before he even got into office. Hey, our best bet is to let the man move out of the way and let the man do his job. And then if he screws everything up, then we can go to court and we can put committees together and build programs together and all like that to make sure another president like that never ever steps into office. If all the Republicans and all the Democrats agree that this man really destroyed it all. But if we're divided, then we're divided by right to continue to have our way different from each other, and may the best man win. Amen. So don't be so hard on Donald Trump. Let him, if you think he really done, like I said in the last video, if you really think he done that bad of a poor job, then make sure you're ready to put your Democratic knuckle brain, whichever liberal idiot, pagan idiot it is, this time. Make sure you're ready, instead of putting your hands on supporters of the Republican Party, this time just make sure you're ready to put your man in office with all the support and education and strategy that you can possibly put in there. But you don't have to be violent, and you don't have to be nasty. You don't have to be, what was that girl's name? What was her name? Kathy Griffin, I think. You don't have to be a Kathy Griffin to get your point across. All you got to do is use this right here in a pure heart. And even if you're a Democrat, God might still bless you. If this is good and this is good. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Leave a comment. Give me something to make a new video about. I'd be glad to do so. I love when you give me things to make videos about. And I will talk to you soon, I promise.